Freaking finally, we are back with another Little Nightmares video on the channel. Today, this is part 1 of 3 that we are going to do. I've been recovering from my first shot of COVID vaccine, but I'm finally back, better than ever. We got some good stuff here, so you know what, without wasting any more time, ladies and gentlemen, let us jump into it. So I'm gonna start off by giving shout out to 2 people in specific. Shout out to one of you guys, Josh the Fox from Twitter. They brought the light onto this for me. They said, hey yo, check it out, by Mike Cherry. They found out some stuff from ArtStation. Now, ArtStation is something that I actually follow for a lot of games, except for Little Nightmares. I didn't know there were anything related to Little Nightmares there, but a concept artist at Tarsier Studios actually shared their artwork here on the ArtStation website. ArtStation is where the developers and many specifically concept artists, whether it be designing related stuff, the models, or whatever, they share their work here. So I'm very familiar with this website, and I've actually covered many games from this website and stuff in the past, so I'm not anything new to this. But Petrus Johansson, again a concept artist at Tarsier Studios, actually shared a couple of really interesting concept arts from Little Nightmares 2 that give us a very dark side that we never actually got to see. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm gonna skip past the ones that we've already seen before, such as this one with the Monster 6 and Mono, or the first one that we've already seen in the digital art book, and let's jump straight to the ones that we haven't seen before. But quickly, here's the look at that crazy family from the Hunter's house that Hunter himself actually made. Ugh, that is disgusting, nasty. It's actually really crazy how they translate this into an actual 3D thing. Well done, guys. Good job. Now let's get on with the video. So let's start off with one of 2 arts that we got. So on your screens right now, you can see Mono and 6 doing their things, but it is actually really interesting how these things pan out. Now, the first thing I want you guys to take a look is at Mono's face. He's not wearing his bag, and there's a reason for that, which we'll tackle in the next art. But here in the first one, you can see 6 helping Mono. Mono is down there. 6 is helping remove that log so he can get up and they can continue their journey. Nothing crazy going on. In the next one, she's helping him again. Okay. But what's interesting in the second one, that he's holding his stomach. And keep an eye out on there, because it goes dark from here. In the next one, things turn 180, ladies and gentlemen, with Mono with his head bag and 6. Mono is helping 6 getting somewhere, but there's a problem here. 6 is bleeding from her stomach. Something's going on. Maybe even her face. Actually, it is face now that I see it. Something crazy has happened. Blood is pouring from 6. What happened there? And Mono is desperate to find help for her. I would like to connect this one with this screen right here, where we see in a frozen area 6 literally on the floor and Mono dragging her, hoping to find shelter, help for 6. This is dark. And what does this mean in a big picture? I'll tell you guys in just a second. In the next one, things turn even more crazier, even more scary. Look at on your screens right now. 6, ladies and gentlemen, is dragging something out of Mono's head. What the freak? What is happening with Mono? Okay, I would like to take you guys to Inside by Playdead. Of course, that game will never stop being talked about even after years. So there are a lot of stuff from Inside that it was taken as an inspiration for this game that didn't actually put it in the final product that we got, which actually is for the better. But here we can see something lashed on Mono, and 6 is getting that out. But you might be wondering, Smack, where is this? In my personal opinion, this is inside the signal tower. And why do I believe that? We'll get to it in just a second. But since the biggest threat, the biggest enemy in all of Little Nightmares 2 was the signal tower, was the television, was Thin Man, it is safe to say the signal tower's transmission broadcast can actually get physical. And we've seen some of that when Mono physically transported from one television to another. We saw that from the inside. One of them might have lashed onto him, and this might have been the result. But it would have been really great to see if we, our protagonist, got into trouble like this and 6 helping us. Ugh, that is disgusting. The next one, we can see Thin Man. There's nothing much to say here, but on the right side, Mono is on the floor, and 6 is there with the head of the doctors. So in my personal opinion, it seems like we were always supposed to see the end and the aftermath of each of the monster that we have, bodied. Teacher is an unfortunate event because I feel like in the DLC, if there is one, we will get to see her demise. But when it comes to the Hunter or the Doctor, we were supposed to see the aftermath, but things got a little too dark and they were like, okay, you know what, maybe we might not need to show that. So that must have happened there. But it is really interesting between Mono having that in his head versus 6 bleeding and Mono being on the floor, it is very obvious that this is inside the signal tower, and they were exhausted. Both of them were exhausted. Both of them were bruised heavily, and things just got physical, and it got physical fast. And this does not help their case whatsoever. I would have actually loved for some of it to have made in the final game. Then we get to the final art, and should I even say final art? Because look at the plethora of images that is on your screens right now. I'm going to touch only some of them in this video. I'm going to touch more of it in the second part and the third part, mainly because each of these 3 videos that I want to do for a specific portion of the story so you can understand better. Here in the first one, we talked about Mono and 6 having some back and forth sequence that we never got to see. So let's take a look at the first upper top, make our way at the bottom, and let's see what do we have here. So in the first one, you guys might be like, okay, this is an average casual viewer's home. It's actually not. Okay, it is, don't get me wrong, but if you look at the top, it is broken. Now, of course, you guys might be like, there were many. No, this is actually inside the signal tower, and all of these arts actually go back and forth between actual Pale City and then a fake Pale City that was created or being created inside the signal tower. I'll get to it later. So there you have it. That's the first art. Then let's get to the second one. This is nothing new. We've seen this one before, and actually let me show you the colored one from the same person. Here you can see the hospital, the beds. We've actually seen this one, and before you guys be like, hold on a second, did we actually see some of the patients? Yes, we have seen. If you look closely, which you can actually see some of the patients on the bed. Anyways, in the third one, this is really interesting. This is what I wanted to say before, and that is, you see how alive the city looks, but at the same time it looks dead. I feel like most of it was supposed to replicate the downtown Japan. I could be wrong. Okay, but it seemed like a lot of the initial talks were supposed to be like that, but then they changed it and made it into a very, very generic city. Because in the next one, you can see here we have a shop with actual words on it. That is something we haven't actually seen much in the Pale City whilst exploring that. Because if you look at the next one, this is something I personally would have loved to see, but I understand why they didn't go for it. In here, we're in some sort of shopping mall or a specific mall shop, and here we're hiding from Thin Man. Thin Man is chasing us or finding us, trying to find us. So this is before we got into the signal tower. So you can clearly see there are some of the arts that is from the inside of signal tower, and some of them are from actual Pale City. So that is something you guys need to keep in mind moving forward. But I understand now why they didn't make much of it. They wanted to keep it as vague as possible. Part of it, of course, they don't want to give it away as to what's going on. Is it reality where the kids are? Are they dreaming? Are they having nightmares? Or what's going on? Is this even real? That is what I wanted to say. Because all the way to the right, you can see this abnormal structure for a bathroom shower. This is abnormal. It really is. Alright, on top you can see, okay, this is understandable, but at the bottom you have another. Why is it even there? Why is it even there? This makes no sense. The structure of it. This is what I was talking about earlier. Some of it makes no sense because it is being made in signal tower. Some of it is actually real, but it still makes no sense, just like it is here. Then let's look at some more, because there's just so many more. We're gonna make it as fast as possible. Here we can see another room. Keep in mind that the abnormal structures are actually a copy of real structures from Pale City inside the signal tower. Signal tower is trying to make carbon copy of the Pale City within itself, and whether it's working or not, here's the result. You can judge it for yourself. You have the second one, the one to the bottom. The one next, however, is the real Pale City. We've actually been there, with the exception of the television. It wasn't there, of course. If you look at the next one, the bathroom, we've also seen this one. We've actually even tried to get this guy to do something. It did not work. The bottom one, this is what I said in my first alternate ending video, where I said that the viewers would get sucked into the television. They would go inside the signal tower. Their clothes are here because they were transported there in the signal tower naked. And the next one, you can see the toys area inside the store, something that would have been a lot more important for 6 and Mono had they were exploring this together. And then the next one, this is just craziness. I can't even describe what's going on there. What's going on here? Nobody knows. It is just there. Now, before we move on, there are things that you guys need to know. You see this screenshot right here? There's a door, but after that, it's just, if you go out, you fall. Same one with all the way to the right. You see these doors? These people are trapped. They can't go anywhere. This is what Signal Tower is talking about. This is what Signal Tower is all about. In the first game, the lady was using these kids, turning them into names, and then making sure through them the whole mall is continuously working and alive, staying alive. Same thing is happening with the Signal Tower. The only Signal Tower is still transmitting and broadcasting is because, of course, Cinnamon is doing whatever he's doing, but at the same time, they're sucking in viewers, they're making sure that they get captured, and then they are trapped here. But with kids, it's a lot more intimidating, it's a lot more scary, it's a lot darker. And that is something we'll touch in the next video, including the other arts as well. I can't make this more than it needs to be because then it is tough on me whilst I'm editing. So I would leave you here. Make sure to tune in for part 2 and part 3, and we will end this alternate thing. Listen, it's been months since Little Nightmares 2 dropped, and we are still just learning other stuff. So make sure to subscribe and notifications on. Help me get to 75k. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, SmackNPie. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and peace.